Okay, so we are going to do some practice with multiplying decimals. When we learned decimals, our number one rule was lining up the decimals like buttons on a shirt. Well, that changes when we're doing multiplication. So if I were to take two numbers like 1 and 35 hundredths and 2 and 1 tenth, if I were to line those up, I'm actually going to line them up as though decimals do not exist, just like I would a normal multiplication problem. But notice my decimal's here and my decimal is here. They are not lined up, but my place value for my numbers are. Multiply just like you normally would. 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 1 is 1. We're done with the 1, move a place over, start with your 2. 2 times 5 is 10, carry your 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 2 times 1 is 2. We're done with the 2 also, so now we're going to add. 5 plus 0 is 5. 3 plus 0 is 3. 1 plus 7 is 8. 2. Now we have to decide what to do with the decimals. We have decimals in our original numbers, but not in our answer. So we need to move the value. We're going to start at the decimal, and we're going to count how many place values we pass to get all the way to the right. So we have 1, 2, we moved 2 decimals. For the second number, I just moved 1. I moved a total of 3 decimal places. So that means I'm going to move a total of 3 decimal places here. I'm going to start from the right. I'm going to move left 1, 2, 3. My number is 2 and 835 thousandths. Now, if you were talking about a problem for money, that would change, because when we look at money, we don't have a third place value here. So that would be your rounding rules. I need to round the 3. I need to decide up the score or let it rest, because this is a 5. I'm going to up the score. The 3 becomes a 4. The 8 stays. The 2 stays. So that would be $2.84. Okay, so let's multiply 3 and 480 thousandths and 17 hundredths. Let's line our numbers up just like we would any multiplication problem. Ignore the decimals for right now and just multiply as you know how. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 8 is 56. Carry your 5. 7 times 4, 28. Plus 5, 33. 7 times 3 is 21. Plus 3, 24. Get rid of all those that were already used and scooch over place value. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 3 is 3. Add the products up. 0, 6, 11, carry your 1, 9, 5. Now again, I have decimal places that I need to move. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2 for this number. That means I went a total of 5. So I need to start from the right and go left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place my decimal. My number is a big 1. So again, if this were money, I would need to round. And we know money only goes to the hundredths place. So we're going to look next door and see, is this 5 or more up the score, or 4 or less let it rest? This is 4 or less let it rest, which means the 9 stays, the 5, and it rounds to 59 cents. Let's have you try one. Let's do 3 7/10 and multiply that by 2 95/100. Go ahead and pause the video, try it on your own, check with me. Okay, so you should have checked, done it on your own. I'm going to line these numbers up. Remember, I'm pretending the decimals are not there. So I would normally line them up like this. Now add your decimal. Multiply them. 7 times 5, 35. 7 times 9 is 63 plus 3. 7 times 2 is 14 plus 6 is 20. Get rid of the numbers you've used. Scoot over a place value. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry your 1. 3 times 9 is 27 plus 1 is 28. Carry. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 2 is 8. Add them up. Got 5. Carry my 1, 9, 10. So now I have 2 place values, 1. That means I'm going to go over a total of 3 from the right. 1, 2, 3, put your decimal. My answer, 10 and 915 thousandths. If it's money, I'm going to round. That's 5 or more. So I'm going to up the score, leave the rest the same. Now let's try one that is a little bit of a larger number. Let's have you do 1 and 250 thousandths, and let's do 4 and 25 thousandths. So line it up just as you would for multiplication, and then let's add that decimal. It's right between the 1 and the 2, right between the 4 and the 2. Multiply 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 5, 25. Carry. 5 times 10 plus 2 is 12. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 1 is 6. Get rid of the ones you've used. Move over a place value. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry your 1. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. 2 times 1 is 2. Get rid of the things that you've already used. Now we're scooting over 2 place values. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 5 is 20. Carry my 2. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 2 is 10. Carry my 1. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5. Add those all up. 0, 5, 2, 11, 3, 5. Count 1, 2, 3 to move the decimal. 1, 2. That's a total of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5 and 3, 1, 2, 5, 0. Again, if it were money, we would be rounding to the hundredths place. The 2 is 4 or less, so we're going to let it rest. It'll be $5.31. Now, if we had one that we would need to add a 0, let's see what that would look like. Let's do one that we've already got the answer for. Let's do 29 and 5/10 times 3 point, let's see, let's do 37. Let's put our decimal right there. You know what, let's move our decimal this one. Let's get rid of this, let me rewrite it so I'm not confusing you. Let's do a decimal here and here. That should get us movement. Okay, so this we've already answered on a previous one. So we go through, we do all our multiplication. Our end result is 10915. And we're going to count to get the decimal place value 1, 2, 3. So I moved it 3 places, and I moved it 1, 2, which means I need to move it 5 place values here. So I'm going to start at the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It actually turned out okay. 10915. I could add a 0 here if I needed to. But what about if we did a whole number? If we did like 5 2/10 and 2, how would that change what you're doing with decimals? Well, line them up just like you would multiplication. Add your decimal. Multiply. I did an easy one so it'd be quick. Because only the first one has a decimal, that's the only one we need to count, because there is no decimal here. I mean, it's invisible, there is a decimal right here, but it's already all the way to the right, so we don't need to move it. So all we have to do is move it once. And if we're talking about money, we can just add a 0 to make it look like the cents, the dollars and cents that we're used to.